Not the Footy Show.
Okay, final segment here on the Footy Show. It's episode 212. Rob Cox over there, Warrick Nicolson here. And we have got through a lot so far, so we have to wrap things up because I don't like the pod going too long. Not because I don't like talking to you. I love talking to you. The talking is
that's
good.
Fine, mate. I get it.
As Jerry and Elaine would say, this is very good. But it's the bit afterwards. Basically, you get the option to go home and I have to stay and edit the stupid thing. We have to talk about two things. Let's start with the 6 again rule and the one referee. I understand the one referee thing. That I'm okay with. Sweet. Get from 2 to 1. We have no dramas with that.
Sure.
But the 6 again optional non-penalty call where a referee is able to say, no, I'm not going to hold up play and call a penalty and get everyone back on side.
Yeah.
And waste 20 to 22 seconds, which is the number that was given. I'm going to have the option to say 6 more tackles.
Yep. Play on.
In theory, it's not bad. But my big question is, we've gone back to one ref, so that's one set of eyes now looking, okay, which could be a good thing because at least the decision might be consistent. But instead of empowering the referee to send someone to the sin bin because they deem it to be deliberate and a professional foul, a referee now has to go through the process of deciding, is it a penalty or is it 6 again? First. Then, if they decide that it's 6 again, at what stage does the indiscretion have to be worse, or how much worse it have to be a penalty? And then, if I've decided that after a couple of times, how many more times does it have to happen before I can then send the player to the sin bin? Okay?
Yeah.
Now that's where my mindset went straight away with all this.
Yep. Good questions.
Then you've got all that, but now you've got the situation where currently entering this season and last season and the season before, really last 3 years, teams don't care about giving away penalties in their own line. They're not, doesn't fuss them at all. They'll give away 2 points if they want. I don't care. They'll just take time off the clock. They'll reset the line, back their defence. So now the 2 points potentially is off the table because a referee still has to make a decision between is it 6 again or is it a penalty? It's only if it's a penalty can then go for the goal. So while they've gone to a real strength in NRL to say we've empowered referees to get harsh. Sure. Have they not just made it harder for them to get harsh because they've added so many more things in the process? Where technically, if they just empowered them with the 2 referees the last couple of years and had one referee basically sitting there going, if this guy does it twice, he's going to the bin. Like, my head is exploding on this because I'm going, they've actually made it harder for a referee to send someone to the sin bin, yet they've claimed they've made it easier to police the ruck. Am I wrong? Am I missing something?
Look, I think you got a good point. I think you got a really good point because, like you just mentioned, I think what people want to see, and I'm speaking for myself and my inner circle, my circle of trust people. I think what we want to see is we want to see. Sorry, no, you're not. You're on. You see, here's the circle. You're out. No, I think what we all want to see is consistency, and we want to see the referees make a decision and deter the players from doing that. And that is laying in the ruck, holding down, hand on the ball, raking at the ball, not releasing legs, all that kind of stuff. And I think, the referee's job, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's the hardest job in rugby league. It is them and the CEOs have the hardest jobs, including the CEO of the NRL.
Yep.
And I'll tell you why. It's because you just can't please everyone. You're always going to have 50% of the people annoyed at you when you finish a game because I think they get ripped off. But I just don't know if what the NRL have done here is helping the situation. And I'll tell you why. And I don't know if you mentioned this, but this 6 again thing is a discretionary thing. And I think people hate the discretionary thing. It needs to be black and white. Okay. And the black and white of it, and I know that nearly every decision is discretionary because you look at it with your own eyes and you've got your own opinions going on, your own narrative going on in your head. But what I would love to see, I'd love to see that if a team in their own 20 metres, their own red zone, tackle and get penalised once, you now are on a high alert. If you get penalised again the next set, whoever does it is going. And I think that would stop it. And I think that if they did that consistently and sent players, go and have a rest, even if it's only for 5, They had the opportunity to bring the 5 back here, but they didn't.
Yeah.
The 5 in the bin, I mean. The
That would
5
have been the
minutes.
easy. That would have been. They wanted to solve the ruck. That could have been the easiest thing they did.
Yeah, but the 6 again. The 6 again is discretionary. And are we going to see the 6 again with a minute left to play when the scores are 14-12 and the team that are 12 make a couple of, the team that are 14 make a couple of hold downs or whatever in the ruck? Are we going to see this? It's like, do we see an offside in a golden point? We never see offsides in golden
Going for a
point.
field goal. No, never.
So these discretionary things, I don't think it helps the referees. I want to do whatever we can to help the referees and take the pressure off them. And I think that the NRL are trying to do that too. But I just don't know if this 6 again thing takes the pressure off them. I think a line in the sand, a mandate saying if a team get 2 penalties in a row in their own 20, whoever does it the second time goes. There's a simple mandate. And if you empower the referees with a mandate saying, the second one, no matter what, if it's a professional foul, the second penalty in a row, gone.
But here's my.
They won't do it.
Why does it have to be the second? Why does it have? Because your point before about it's the last minute of the game.
Yep.
All right. You're saying, well, what constitutes 6 again versus a penalty?
Yeah.
So a player who would, and you've seen it, and we know we see it all the time. There is no interest in getting out of the ruck. It's all about, I'll stay here as long as it is until you call the penalty. It's not, will you call the penalty? It's until you do call the penalty.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, okay, you want to say, if you really are empowering the referees, another thing that they did go to pains to say is, there'll be no more warnings. I guarantee you the first week, player will get sent to the sin bin. Boy, you didn't give us a warning. That'll be the first thing that the captain will say. Because they'll think that, well, even if they know or not, that's what I'd say if I was a captain. He's like, you've changed the rules on us. What's going on? I just want to see the referee go, you're gone. That's deliberate. Off you go.
Yeah.
And I don't care if they're doing it 6 again. They can just decide that anytime they like. But if they see a player deliberately doing what they're trying to clean up, off you go for 10.
Yeah.
They have to have that. Mate, they have to have that given, empowered to them, as you're saying. I don't care if it's the first time, the 5th time. They need to be able to do it if they deem that the player is professionally fouling. If they have that mandate, this will work a treat. But the problem is, with 2 referees for the last 5, 10 years, whatever we've had, that has not been the mandate. And the NRL has been too scared to give them that because they're worried about the game getting told, you're just too strict. They went, was it 3 years ago, 2 years ago, they really cracked down?
2.
And within 6 weeks, the papers, you can't do this. All the coaches ring up the papers, can you just get in the blower and, ease us out of the game? If PVL wants to really set this new boat on some great trail, he has to say to the referees, don't be afraid.
Oh, I agree. You got to give the referee the power, and it's, but not only have you got to give him the power and grant him the power, you have to force him to use the power. And if they don't, that's when the referees should be under pressure, is when they're not following the mandate of the game. And the mandate of the game isn't to blow for 50 penalties in a game. Just start sin binning. If you start sin binning, they will stop.
Absolutely.
100%. They'll stop. And don't stop sin binning either. If they keep doing it, you're off until they get to 6 players. And
along those lines, which you've nailed. If they want to get rid of the spear tackle, they want to get rid of high tackles, suspend them. Don't just give them fines. Don't just say, you're off because if you want to get rid of it, deny the coaches the player. That is the key. It's not the financial. I don't care. Every time I hear that, I laugh my head off. Yeah. As if a player cares. It's financial. It does nothing to them. They'll play the next week. Get their match.
$1,500 fine. $1,500 fine for a trip. Remember what trips used to get in the 70s and 80s?
I was watching Steelers versus Seagulls from '92. It was on Fox the other day, which they've actually introduced some pretty good old stuff, which is great. And Brent Todd got sent off in the first 3 minutes.
I remember that.
This is his second game for the Seagulls. This is the year that Wally Lewis, second year Wally Lewis was there. He got all these players in through the draft and a few other things and had really built this team. Dale Shearer was there and he got sent off in the first 3 minutes. Commentator's interesting enough, I'd already said, they've got to make the finals, they have to win this game. And it was round 3, which I thought was hilarious. But anyway, gets sent off. No dramas. Eddie Ward, off you go. About half an hour later, Peter Gill tackled Les Morrissey. Remember Les Morrissey, second row with the Steelers?
Yep.
And he tackled him after he knocked on. So classic one. The guy knocked on and he came in and tackled him. It was pretty innocuous.
Yeah.
And Les Morrissey's turned around and just gone boom with his head straight in the melon. Down goes Peter Gill. Touchy from the other side of the field. You see his flag go up. He's raced on.
Yeah.
Penalty. That was the only. Not a sin bin, not a warning, just a penalty. So you're
a trip, you're gone. A headbutt, you're on. You're sweet.
Headbutt, and the player who'd done the high tackle, which was not a good high tackle, who'd been sent off already. So it's a perfect opportunity for the old square up, and it happened right. Oh, anyway. So to know what you're saying, they've got the option. They just need to go through it.
Yeah, hopefully they do. I just don't want to see the pressure get to the referees with this decision making of the six again. I really hope, and I don't know because you don't know a few things until the game starts again. But I really hope that they are free flowing with their six agains.
Yeah,
they call it, and I hope that they stick with it because it's not a penalty. It's merely a six again. And if the journos don't like it, well, there's stiff cheddar. Who cares what the journos like?
Something came to me just then. All right. We're talking about sin bin, whether it'll be used. At the moment, a player is sent to the sin bin if there's a penalty given away for being offside, all right, or in the play the ball in the ruck, all right, and a player runs up, takes a quick tap.
Yeah.
And that player,
and
they interfere. They are gone. It is now become it's a thing that for some reason they've decided this is the one.
Professional foul.
Okay. Referee calls six again and you make the tackle. Are you sin bin?
I think so. I think you will be. Yep, I do think you will be.
You don't think it'll only be for a penalty? This is the grey areas. This is what I'm worried about. I just came to my mind then. But
I think that professional foul, intentional, messing with play when you're offside or when I think that'll still be a little trip to the bin, and I hope it is. I mean,
that'll be the test.
I've even got the reason why, in my mind, and from what I've seen, the reason why referees get a little bit flustered and whatnot is because quite often they've got players in their face, questioning and even if it's not the captain. And I don't know I don't know if refereeing is a popularity contest or what it is, but I'd like to see referees go back to the dark old days of when Greg Hartley was around. He didn't care about if he was popular or not. You're off. Just get out of my face. Go away. You're off. Stop questioning me in that manner. Talk to me like I'm a human or you'll go. And I think and talk to me at appropriate times. I mean, there's a few captains out there that are absolute unbelievable experts at it, of wanting to talk to the referee when it suits them, not the other way around. And they've got to understand that the referees are, I don't know if there's any more pressure on any person on a football field than the referees. And I just hope that the NRL have given them guidelines around this six again that doesn't make them start to think more than they have to. It should be free.
That goes back to my original point. What concerns me is by creating the discretionary option here, you've created a barrier between that, potentially a mental barrier where he's got to make that decision. Is it a penalty? Is it six again? And sin bin's not in the mindset. That's the bit that has worried me a little bit. But if they empower them and they start using it and the players get the message, fantastic. Let's have it all for it.
We will know this time next week, or maybe a couple of days later. About 8 or 9 days, we'll know, mate.
The litmus test would be if Cameron Smith is the first one, he gives away a penalty in the ruck, and then he makes a tackle on a six again. If he gets binned, I am confident this can work. If he doesn't, then good luck.
Well, see, I don't know if he's going to have a chance to make a tackle at the six to go, because the six to go will just go, okay, he does an indiscretion in the ruck. Referee waves six to go. So he can't really, how can you make it? You can't, I don't think you can. It's not a penalty.
No, but if you're not lined up at marker, you lay in and play the ball and you give away that six again, and then you make the tackle.
As long as you get up in your marker. If
but if you don't get, that's what I'm saying. That's the issue that I was saying before.
You never got onside. If you never get onside, you're offside, a professional foul. Cool your heels for 10 minutes,
Let's see if it happens.
Not the Footy show.